No, we can just start with it.
Yeah, cool. Okay. Will I mention the change of lineup?
Like, no Dave.
We've no Dave, yeah.
Yeah. No, we can put it at the end.
Put Dave at the end.
Yeah,
just to mention him, like.
Yeah.
Mention Dave. In loving memory of Dave.
2016 to 2019.
This is going to be the bit you put at the very start before ding 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 ding.
It is, yeah.
That's the soundbite. In loving memory of Dave. Oh my god.
Well, in memory.
In memory of Dave.
I wouldn't say loving. Like.
We've qualified for the World Cup. Go and compete.
Hello and welcome to the return of the Put 'em Under Pressure podcast. We're here today in front of a live studio audience. I'm joined by Mr. Meme, Connor,
Crack.
and the most feared musician in Cork, Adrian.
Hello.
Thank you very much. I'm so glad we got through that. We're back from a 2-year hiatus. We've returned to your airwaves, and we're very glad to have you back. As previously, you can follow us and like us on Facebook at the PUPcast. After a contractual dispute, we have moved from SoundCloud, and we're going forward. Going forward, we will be uploading our podcast to YouTube. You can find us on YouTube, the PUPcast podcast.
Beautiful.
So, just as a reminder for our, return listeners, but also an introduction to our newer listeners as well. My name is Kieran. I'm a Crystal Palace fan. Connor is an Arsenal fan.
I am.
And Adrian is a Liverpool fan.
Yes.
So why don't we kick things off? Connor, how do you think Arsenal's season's gone so far?
I think it started pretty well, except getting outclassed by Liverpool very badly, which I'm sure Adrian will like to expand upon. But apart from that, beat Newcastle and Burnley, happy out. And Spurs, should have beat Spurs, definitely. But what are you going to do?
On the second half performance, for sure, Arsenal were the better team.
Spurs are a bit shit, to be honest.
They are?
They've been shit for like a year nearly, and they rode their luck to the Champions League final and really had no business being there.
A hot take, but I mean, I can't argue it. It was a bit of a fluke when Lucas Moura is kind of leading the way to the Champions League final.
Yeah.
It's surely a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Transfers.
Nothing against Spurs, by the way.
Oh, nothing at all.
What?
In terms of transfers,
Oh yeah, they
the restricted budget that turned into 1,000 players.
smoke screen.
Yeah.
Pepe is a bit like a supercharged Iwobi. Not necessarily a good thing. He'll score eventually. Right now he hasn't scored, and people are like, oh, he's like, a waste of money. He'll come good eventually, I think. And they bought Saliba.
Yeah.
One for the future, beat Tottenham to him. So again, haha. They got David Luiz from Chelsea, which was a weird buy, but he came pretty cheap. I'm happy enough with it, even though he's shit, let's be honest. But, we'll take him over Mustafi, I'll take him.
Yeah.
They also signed Kieran Tierney from Celtic, a left back, even though he's fucking injured. I don't know how he passed the medical. Because he's been out he's going to be out for weeks.
Oh.
But they signed him and he's going to replace Kolasinac, because Kolasinac, as much as I like him, is not a good defender. So we'll see how it goes.
I would disagree that he's not a good defender, because he stuck up for Ozil quite well.
Yeah.
That hijacking was a bit of a shock, especially when there was footage of
Is
it.
that thing still going?
It's still going.
Because they haven't played.
There were lads in court over it yesterday or today.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Are they still unable to travel away from...
Well, Ozil comes down with stomach cramps or illness like every other game. I don't know what the story is there. It's been happening since Wenger's last season. He just says, oh, I'm ill, I can't play.
Right.
For a game.
Okay.
Maybe something will come out someday and we'll find out that he's been dealing with some mad private illness, but right now it just seems bizarre.
It reminds me of the Jack Wilshere situation where he would randomly always be injured, and there was always that kind of those rumours that it was potentially failing drug tests, and if you're not deemed fit, you don't get the drug tests. So if you're out injured, so Jack Wilshere would.
So he was just popping pills.
Popping pills,
yeah.
Smoking doobs, all the cool kid stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe that, but maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Can I just ask, you know that midfielder you said?
Guendouzi?
No, Saliba.
He's a defender. Saliba?
Yeah, the new signing.
Yeah. He's out on loan this season and he'll come back. They actually registered him in the squad this season though, so that he'll count as homegrown because he'll have an extra season in England.
Yeah, clever.
So by the time he's 21, he'll have 3 seasons here, so he counts as
I
homegrown.
got confused. I thought you meant that guy that you have on loan from Madrid.
Oh, Ceballos.
Ceballos, yeah, he's a good player. As
He's
well.
pretty baller, yeah.
Yeah, it's there's, I think there always has been, but there seems to be a lot of new kind of like Spanish players in the league. The pronunciations are not as they read.
They're a fucking nightmare.
Look,
Like-
all I know is double L means Y.
Yeah, and you know they're spelt the same way, but the Wolves and the Villa player, what I would pronounce as Jota, they're both different. Like the Spanish is Jota or Jota.
Yeah, but he's Portuguese.
But he's Portuguese, so
in
it's
Portugal
different,
they
yeah.
pronounce the J, like Jose Mourinho.
Yeah. So less of that because that makes our lives on the podcast much harder. But we will continue to butcher opinions and pronunciations anyway. So.
Yeah. But overall, I'm content as an Arsenal fan right now. Well, to be honest, the transfer window I was pretty delighted with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everything went well, really well.
Good. Are you disappointed that maybe Zaha wasn't picked up?
I like Zaha, like him a lot, but for the money Palace were asking, and I know you have a right to ask for that, but you know what? I ain't paying 100 million for that guy.
It's a Palace evaluation, but it's probably not a correct evaluation. You know. But then he's got 3-4 years left on the contract. He just signed.
What an idiot! What a fucking clown signing a 5-year contract and then hands in a transfer request.
Yeah.
A few months later.
I don't understand it because I don't understand it. It looks as if he's been told by the chairman that it's not going to be. It wasn't going to be the summer. It's not going to be in January. But they'll look at it again next summer. And
think
it's going to be the repeat of this season.
I think he'll sign for Arsenal next year. I think that. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll just say that now so we can see in a year.
I would love for him to go to a big team, but not in England.
See in a
Break
year.
my heart.
Unless we take another 2-year hiatus for no reason.
Well, like you said, Adrian, the last time we recorded Mo Salah was at Roma, so
Yeah,
time flies.
it's been a good 2 years. It's been a really, really good 2 years.
So for anyone who's been under a rock, Adrian, why don't you just take us through the last 2 years of Liverpool?
Okay, so I think we recorded about 2 years ago. Mo Salah, I think, had just signed for Liverpool. We didn't have Van Dijk. We didn't have Alisson. Maybe Robertson. I don't know. I can't even remember. No Fabinho.
Alexander-Arnold was a nobody.
Yeah, nobody. We had just gotten fourth, I think. United were still kind of scraping.
They were second that season.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
And I thought they would go on to be challengers under
Yeah.
Mourinho.
I do want to point out we all predicted Man City would win the league that year.
Yeah,
We actually did.
But it
even though
wasn't-
Chelsea had just run away with it.
Yeah,
It
it wasn't such a bold call though in hindsight.
No, I
was
mean
it?
we know a bit about football, obviously. But
smidgen.
yeah, since then 2 Champions League finals, one of them lost. We don't really need to talk about that. That was just. I mean, that was anything that could go wrong went wrong. But anyway,
Yeah.
doesn't matter because we won the next one and we beat Tottenham comfortably. Well, this is maybe unfair, but we should have won the league last year, in my opinion. Just a few.
How do you come to that conclusion?
Because a few freak things happened.
Go on.
Like
This will be good.
Look,
yeah.
Company's goal was FIFA shit. Let me just say that. That doesn't happen, right?
Okay.
What about Origi's goal against Everton?
Yeah, what about it?
That's some FIFA
Okay,
shit
so
there.
that's 1-1. So that's a balance, right?
He's lost
Let's
now.
say the ball nearly crossing the line against the City thing, it was like so many millimeters and all this bullshit.
Yeah.
It was just like the stars aligned for Liverpool to win it, and then Man City were just, assholes, basically. Like, just stop fucking winning. Like, De Bruyne's injured, you have perfect excuse not to win the league, and they just win it anyway.
That's what's amazing is they did that last season without De Bruyne.
Yeah, and he's
Like-
back and he's fired
And
up.
he's like one of their best players.
Yep.
But I'm here to talk about Liverpool,
Okay,
Right, yeah.
okay, that's fair.
and
Shut
I'm
up, lads.
very positive at the time of recording, top of the league.
Right.
3 games in. 4.
4 fucking games in.
Okay.
All right. your facts right.
He telling me you didn't research.
We're top 4, I think.
No, 5th. Palace are top 4.
All right, well.
So this
Well
is the European club podcast right now.
Well,
so.
what I'll say is no major signings over the summer, and that
no
is
signings at all, was there?
Sepp Vandenberg or something.
Yeah.
Harvey Elliott, the youngest ever Premier League player, signed from
Harvey
Fulham.
Elliott.
Oh yeah, he's
Yeah.
a bit of a
Oh,
muppet,
yeah.
isn't he?
Yeah.
He's a bit of a big deal.
Do you know who he reminds me of is do you remember Dappy from N-Dubs?
No.
Yeah, he's.
I don't know what's wrong about. No.
Have a look at his Instagram. He's an absolute.
Dappy.
That was his name, right? Dappy from N-Dubs. Do you remember N-Dubs?
No.
No, lad.
Okay, we'll revisit that.
Yeah. We'll fucking cut that.
No, we won't.
I'm not cutting that.
And
Dappy.
and someone else. They signed someone else. I can't remember. But it's that kind of thing of, Fabinho started slow last year, and now he's an important player. Keita hopefully will come good.
I would hold out much hope.
Well,
for that.
so far you have look. It's not a popular opinion for Liverpool fans, but he hasn't really been a success. You know,
There was patches.
there's patches, but you can't say he's a success for
No.
40 odd million.
Yeah.
It was way more than that, wasn't it? I thought it was like 60
I thought it was
million.
63
No,
million.
well you're both wrong. So,
Fine.
and you know the
accountant over here.
the strikers are still doing the goods. Van Dijk isn't a one-season wonder, so I'm hoping this season. It seems like they've just picked up where they left off.
Well, one thing as well is that City, because they just keep winning the league, they're going to be going all out for Europe. And
Yeah.
Liverpool, who've just won in Europe, are going to be going all out for the league. So they're both going to be prioritising different competitions.
Yeah.
I agree.
The difference is that I think Pep has 2 or 3 squads at his disposal. That
And he's
are
a better manager.
Oof. Well, I mean, yeah, okay, I agree.
You're just fucking. This is like when you said Sanchez was better than who? When did
Hazard, probably.
Yeah, something ridiculous.
Well,
like that.
I at the time,
no,
that's true.
I'm sorry. You said you'd prefer Ozil over Sanchez.
Oh yeah,
That's what you said.
and we laughed.
Did I say that?
We laughed
You,
very
you
hard.
did, and we still laugh to this day.
Look, I say some shit, like, come on.
Well,
Flynn's just here for the sound bites. Come on,
I know nothing about football, like.
we've given him a script.
I haven't watched a match in years. I just follow it on fantasy football.
Yeah, that's
The
it.
other thing I'd say, they don't have company, and they haven't really replaced him. And
Laporte being out injured as well.
Laporte out injured, and Sané out injured. So without company and Sané, they wouldn't have won the league last year.
Okay. Well, I mean,
And that's a fact because Sané scored the winner against Liverpool, and company scored the winner against whoever that shit team was. Leicester. Sorry, they're not that shit.
They did make more big money signings though, like Rodri and Cancelo.
yeah, we'll start seeing him come through. We've got Benjamin Mendy to return as well.
Yeah. So like, I mean, if they've lost 2 players, they've gained 2 or 3 players, including De Bruyne being back.
And they've got that young fella, Ukrainian guy, Zinchenko, is it?
Yeah.
Who Pep adores. And they've got the forgotten Phil Foden, who Pep constantly says is the best player on his team, but just neglects him.
Yeah, I get a bit of a creepy vibe off Pep sometimes when he talks about young players. But anyway, Kevin Spacey kind of stuff.
Oh my.
Keep that in.
Yeah.
Keep that in.
We're leading with that.
No, but like, I mean, if you ever listen to, you'll notice in the future there'll be some new young player comes along, and just the words he uses are a bit,
Okay. Unsettling.
I'll just be like.
Speaking of Pep.
Speaking of
Speaking of Kevin Spacey, yeah. No, speaking of managers,
diddlers
like Pep Guardiola, Klopp, and Emery, in the I guess in the light of the Watford managerial news earlier, where they've reinstated the manager they fired last season, I believe. Flores, yeah. 15 minutes after sacking whoever that other guy was.
Watford don't give a shit about their manager. That's why, like, the Marco Silva thing, when there was this big controversy about him going to Everton. I'm like, Watford will fire their manager at the drop of a hat, and it happens every year. How many managers have they gone through in the past years they've been in the Premiership?
A crazy
Premier League. Like, I have no problem with Marco Silva saying, okay, I got a good offer, see you later, because as soon as I lose 2 matches, you're just going to fire me anyway.
Yeah, that's
so
the
whatever.
Thing. And the it's I don't know. There's something suspicious and dodgy about the owners as well, and their partnership with Granada and Udinese, and the whole loan thing that they used to do with Watford when they were in the Championship.
But have they done that lately? Have they done?
They
much
haven't.
loaning?
But I think that the only reason they were doing it before was when Watford were a lower tier team. But back to my point with the current climate for managers. Of the 3, we'll use Pep Guardiola because Roy Hodgson is there to the day he drops with Palace.
Is he?
I think it's his choice to leave. Parish
well, he's doing a pretty good job, isn't he?
Yeah.
Where did you finish last season?
12th or 13th, I think. Like that's solid for us.
Yeah.
And the thing is, as well as it doesn't feel like it sometimes in performances, and we'll go on like 8 games and not win. But then you come up with a record like we had the 3rd best away record or something like that in last season.
I'm so sorry. We talked about our teams. Do you want to talk about your team? Do you want to take this time?
I thought he kind of was.
Yeah.
Well, we'll do it officially. You know.
Can I just interrupt you? Do you want to keep
talking
talking about what you were just talking about?
I know, but we don't have to talk about managers. Just,
Well, yeah, no. My question was going to be like, how Pep Guardiola and Klopp have had like itchy feet, or it seems like they might want to go on to other things soon. Pep Guardiola would be someone to me that I think would just win the Champions League with City and just hop off to somewhere else.
I think he's off after his season regardless.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Hopefully, yeah.
He doesn't stick around very long anywhere.
No, he's very much the kind of guy that just wants to take on a project, and make something of it.
He's the kind of guy. He's like, if you get like 20,000 likes on a meme, and you just want to move on to the next thing, you don't want to just milk it.
Of course not. That's something that none of us would do, especially on this sofa. With Klopp,
yeah.
If he doesn't win the league this year, is he considered a failure? Why should he be given another chance at him?
Oh, jeez, a failure? No way.
Okay.
I mean, Liverpool before Klopp were shite. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
and
thanks.
post Klopp are actually good.
Okay.
So I mean,
but with the chances he's had, with the amount of money that's been spent,
he has spent a shitload of money.
When do you say you've had enough time and there's not much returns? Now
has
Champions League, I guess.
I mean, I think that's the return, really, isn't it?
But is it the return the fans want? Well, I guess they do. Obviously, want to win the Champions League.
Look, at the end of the day, and I don't know if this is going to sound super biased, but like they're probably in the top 3 teams in Europe right now. Well, they just won the fucking Champions League, so you can't argue with that much, right?
Oh, no.
I mean, I think Liverpool, City, and one of the rest. Well, Juventus, maybe.
He bonked Barcelona.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's hard to argue that. So if they've gone from scraping Champions League and getting booed out of the Champions League hard to being one of the top 3 teams, everyone's happy with that. Every Liverpool fan is happy with that.
I'll never forgive Rodgers for playing to lose against Real Madrid in Champions League that season. Do we remember this?
Yeah, that was a horrible.
He put out like a second string team.
Barini up front.
When they could have gone through.
Yeah.
They still had a chance to go through, didn't they?
Yeah,
he put out like a second string team to focus on the league, and it was like, we'll just take the loss.
But since Klopp came in, there's like a real. God, this sounds fucking weird. But like, there's a real sense of like, connection from like
community.
From the top right down to the bottom, like from the fans to the fucking owners and everything, and that's down to him. Like, you were never gonna get that with Jesus Christ Hodgson,
Excuse me,
or even Rodgers.
Snide remark there.
That's it. Yeah. Okay.
Shit.
Palace fan president.
But he is the most uncharismatic fellow going.
Yeah. And it was just the wrong time. But like, Klopp came in the absolute right time. I think he might leave once his contract is gone. He's talking about that 2023, I think.
Do you know what I think has happened is Lowe or Love will get let go from Germany or fired or walk, and Klopp will take over.
Yeah, could happen.
I think that'll happen.
Yeah. But do you know, if he leaves behind a squad similar to the standard it's at now, it'll be all good. And he's won the Champions League. And it's the same with Rafa. Like, Liverpool were shite when he left. but he's still hailed as a hero because he won the Champions League.
Yeah.
Do
Poor
you
Rafa
still
as
have a
well.
lot of positive feelings for Rafa?
Big time, yeah.
Well, so do Newcastle. They didn't want to see him go.
Yeah. Everyone but Real Madrid, really.
Fuck.
Have it for him.
Yeah.
But they're all
So what do
cunts.
they know? They boo Ronaldo.
Yeah.
That's it. The treatment they
Whatever,
give to like someone like Gareth Bale as well, who won them that Champions League against Liverpool.
Won him tons.
Yeah.
One of shit, like
Fucking
he scored in every
everything.
final. Anyway.
And he has to come out on Twitter every time he like doesn't play well and be like, "I really love you guys. I love the fans." And yeah, it's kind of sad, but
Yeah.
fans are always fickle. That's for sure. So I guess we can round things off, and I can give you like an overview of perhaps my thoughts on Palace's season this season so far. And even though I probably should be ecstatic at being sat at 4th place for the first international break, I just know that will crash very, very soon.
Bit pessimistic.
Well, after many years of supporting Palace, you don't get much joy, so kind of have to brace myself for the inevitable.
Why do you follow football at all? What's
Just-
keeping you going?
I'm fueled by rage.
Rage.
Is Zaha gone in January?
I don't think so. I don't think he. We don't need to sell him unless our valuation is met. I don't think it would be the right move for him. And our chairman Steve Parish has outright said that he's not going anywhere until at least next season. I can see it in his performance already. He is kind of sulking. He's not got that, kind of fire that really makes him stand out as a great winger. He seems to get like pissed off by fans or pissed off by being kicked around the place. That's when he ups his game. He doesn't have that so far this season. That said, though, we've been pretty solid. We've only conceded 2 goals. We're like the joint best defense in the league. We've only scored 2 goals.
Right.
Both by... Oh, sorry, we scored 3 goals. 2 of them by Jordan Ayew, which could turn out to be the signing of the summer.
Forgot he existed, to be honest.
Yeah, and you know what? He's cheap and cheerful. Like, we got him for like 2.5 million, and he does the job. He does the job. Like, I can't fault him so far.
2.5 million, yeah.
In
grand.
today, yeah, exactly.
May as well.
From where?
We got him from Swansea.
Oh, yeah.
And anyone that keeps Benteke off a football pitch, in my books, is a superstar.
When was the last time he scored a goal?
God knows. He couldn't even score against fucking Colchester in the League Cup. Like, seriously, the guy's on 120k a week. Supposed to be valued at 50 million. Couldn't even score against a bunch of part-timers.
I remember thinking he was better than Lukaku when he was at Villa.
That's another thing I just wanted to point out. The
Yep.
last time we were here, we were debating who was the best signing. Who's the Chelsea fucking striker?
Morata?
Morata or Lukaku?
Christ.
Both fucked
Full
off.
from grace, yeah. Both are full from grace, really.
Yeah.
What did I
Strikers
say?
have changed. We all said Lukaku.
Oh,
And
we
we
were
were all
right.
right.
Yeah,
I guess so. He went off to Italy there, and in like his first game,
Yeah.
got racist monkey chants from
Yeah.
the fans, from the rival fans, and then his own supporters
Yeah.
came out and said,
I saw
"Don't
this.
make a big deal out
Yeah,
of it."
this,
Like,
basically, this is what we do.
Yeah, this is just welcoming you.
Yeah,
is what
I'd
I
be
got.
like, "Is it too late to get back on the plane
Yeah.
back to Manchester?"
Yeah, but Inter Milan fans are kind of notorious for it as well. They are right wing, but they did it to Patrick Vieira before, didn't they? I think, or was it Claude Makélélé? But basically, after training, they just swore. Oh shit!
Same thing.
Damn, fucked it.
And they just swarmed his car, and they basically told him to play better or they wouldn't accept him.
Have they forgotten what their team name is? Like Internationale. They're about like international
Yeah.
people. Like they were formed originally to support like foreigners. That's what their whole identity is. The fucking Egypts. Anyway,
Fuck you, Inter Milan.
Yeah, that was
nice kits though.
lovely kids.
Okay.
We can rate kids.
The Nazis had nice kits as well. But
Fuck me.
they did though. Hugo Boss. Anyway,
Volkswagen,
I don't like 'em,
Volkswagen
mate.
cars.
I don't like them. I'm just saying they had nice kids.
What? Hugo Boss?
Hugo Boss designed the Nazis' uniforms. Like yeah.
There you go.
Is that?
Yeah, the actual Hugo Boss, like The fella.
The actual
Like-
Mr.
like
Boss.
Hugh.
The actual
Yeah.
Mr. Boss, yeah. The fucking SS,
I
the
suppose
black with the
probably-
skulls and shit.
Was it like a major contract? Like he was probably paid a lot. Like
Oh yeah, sure.
that's where he got all the money.
Well, all the big German companies were like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Siemens,
Should we not?
Volkswagen.
Volkswagen, yeah, they were all well into it. Coco Chanel, she. Coco Chanel, right? She was in the company, and there were Jewish people who ran her company, and she ratted them out to the Nazis and got them all killed. So she took over the company. So every time you see someone, Coco Chanel, an ad for them, just remember what a fucking bitch she was.
I love how Christian Benteke just sparks these conversations,
I'm just saying.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Well,
don't buy Hugo Boss. Don't buy Coco Chanel.
Well, I mean,
Well,
the whole thing.
you're supporting the Nazis, aren't you?
Well, post-war, they were like, in World War One, we punished you too harshly. World War Two, we're just gonna forgive everyone and try to rebuild Germany. So that's what we've done. I feel like we've gone a bit off course here.
well, this is
Well,
going
it's
in
too
the
late.
outtakes now.
It's too late.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
Maybe just
I'm struggling on how to kind of bring this back to football.
What were we talking about? Christian
Sorry,
Benteke.
Benteke.
We're talking about Christian Benteke.
scored a goal.
So we all said
Probably 1939.
Lukaku was better than Morata, and we were right.
Anyway, thanks for listening. That's Well, you may have noticed that we are perhaps a body short this time round. Reason being is that our dear friend Dave has decided to up and leave, and is currently in Canada.
Not because of us, like.
Not because of us. Yeah. No, we booked a one-way flight for him.
Like the last podcast was so bad that we took 2 years before doing another one, and Dave immigrated. That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
Well, in his memory, we will do a brief review of his team, Manchester United. In the past, we may have been a bit too blunt and harsh on United, so maybe this time round we can bring some positive light to the team that plays in Old Trafford. So, who wants to kick off on how their season's been? How's the transfer been so far?
They're shite.
They're terrible.
They're pretty bad, like.
They're on a downward spiral, and it's really hard to see how they're ever going to get out of it.
Yeah.
Future relegation, who knows? They don't have any strikers. Their defense is shocking. They've spent outrageous amount of money on average players. They could possibly go into administration down the line, because if they just keep spending money and not making money, then yeah. Because who's Sports United anymore?
Mm.
It's true.
Glory hounds, and there's no glory.
No.
So
Just
they're just hounds. And their manager got Cardiff relegated.
That's it. What a good choice. Ollie's at the wheel.
That's his main achievement as well, by the way. That's not an insult. That's like his
That's
CV.
it. Yeah.
That's on his CV. It says got Cardiff relegated.
Like, on a serious note, there are rumblings that he's going to be sacked before the end of the year. Who do they get in? Who the fuck can they get?
They've tried it all. They've done the bigger names. They've done the kind of the newer upcoming managers, or the kind of experimental managers like Van Gaal. They've tried it with a former legend or whatever.
They tried the world's best manager with Mourinho, and they went tits up.
Like, they're all saying Pochettino. Surely Pochettino would look at Mourinho and go, that club fucking ruined him. So why on earth? It did. He was a big deal.
I'm actually quite grateful, because he's become a fantastic pundit on beIN Sports, and so has Wenger. I love watching the two of them speak.
Do you know what I've noticed is that Mourinho is kind of flirting with Arsenal a bit in the media as a pundit. Like, he's doing a lot of stuff complimenting Arsenal and saying how much he likes Arsenal as a pundit. And I'm thinking now, he wants to get in if Emery leaves, because Emery's only on a 2-year contract, so this is his last year officially.
Mm.
So he might not get another. It depends on how it goes this season. But let's say Emery doesn't get top 4 and doesn't win anything, he might go. Who are you going to get? Mourinho's right there trying to butter them up. But the thing about that is, like, a few years ago, if someone asked me, would you like Mourinho to manage Arsenal? I would have said, as a manager, he's the best in the world. But as a person, I fucking hate the guy for a variety of reasons. He's like, he has a long Cadillac of scumbuggery behind him, like. But in the past, like 2 years, I'd say. Do you know when Wenger was retiring and he went to Old Trafford and like he shook hands with, he got like a trophy or a plaque from Alex Ferguson.
Yeah.
And he got like a handshake from Mourinho, and I was like, oh, he buried a hatchet with Wenger. And in the past few years, especially seeing him fail, I think it's easy to like someone when they're failing.
Yeah.
And the punditry, I think he's been a really good pundit. I kind of come around to him as a person. So now if I was like, as a person, I'd have no problem without the club. Like, I don't hate him, but as a manager, the past 2 years, he has destroyed his reputation. As a manager, like,
I think
it's switched around, like, the tables turned totally. Like, I don't want him as a manager, but, like, as a person, he's grand.
Yeah, I think, do you know what, I think you'd kind of hit the nail on the head there, is that the chosen one, the special one, failing, has kind of humbled him a little bit.
It's hard to like hate him because he is entertaining, but like he's an entertaining like bad guy. He's like a villain, and it's like great to hate him when he's like winning.
But I think he had to. I know it was always like the park the bus thing, but I think at United it was nearly taken to another level. So people just see it as like anti-football. Now, if you're to get in Mourinho,
Van Gaal was the same way before him, though.
Yeah, this is the thing.
But now he's got a reputation. Like before, it was like he's won leagues here, he's won leagues here. It wasn't really looked at how it was done.
Oh yeah, because every time you could say, "Oh well, he won the league."
Yeah,
but he won the Europa League and he won the FA Cup.
Now he's like the
League Cup. Sorry, League Cup.
Now he's like the guy who consolidated United playing shit football.
But
and
there's so much at play with United, though. You know, it doesn't like we've just basically said. It doesn't matter the manager, even the players now. It doesn't matter. They can get like Paul Pogba in, and he doesn't really make an effect on them. They'll still, or an impact. They'll still be scraping top 6 now.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. It's like I'm not worried about United, which is a bit weird because it's like they could sign Neymar, they could sign whoever, and all I'll think is he'll go like all their other big name signings. Something will go wrong. Like some shit will happen. Like Fred. Who the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Like, where's he? What's he doing?
Jesus Christ.
50, 60 minutes?
He's still there.
Yeah. When did he even last play a game?
They only just got rid of Damian, or whatever his name was.
Like, someone actually, it was a Liverpool fan the other day, made a good point. Like, it was much more fun when United were good. It's not that fun anymore. They're so bad.
There's nothing to hate. Like, it's gonna comedy lasts far less.
It's
than,
like
they're like
they
they fucking drew to whoever last was it Southampton. It's like it's not even funny anymore. It's just what it is. They're just mid-table level.
Yeah,
but they're too big to ever go away. Like they could never, even if they got relegated. Like it'd be like when Juventus got relegated, and got put down. It didn't really matter in the long term, in like the long term.
Yeah.
Because like they crossed that threshold like 20 years ago. Like they could never go the way of like, what's a team that really just fucked up recently and just
Sunderland.
Yeah, they could never go the way of Sunderland or even Leeds.
Yeah.
They could never just implode like that.
Yeah.
So, oh, by the way, R.I.P. Bury and Bolton.
Yes. Sad, but apparently Bury are appealing their league status, so. And Bolton are still in there, so...
Oh, I thought Bolton got done as well.
They were, again, like, I thought it was very, very insensitive, Sky Sports doing a countdown. timer as well.
Wankers.
Isn't it? Like fireworks when it's like, oh, the club's died.
Yeah.
But
keep watching Sky Sports.
Yeah.
Watch a club die.
That's it, yeah. It's, I dislike that a lot because I thought it was very insensitive because a lot of people lost their jobs, But, yeah, Bolton got bought out at the very last minute. So they're still there, but they have a minus 11, or they had like a minus 15 point deficit for the start of the season. So,
what league are they in now?
They're in League One.
So they'll be going down.
Yeah, so like even though they've been saved, it's probably going to be the same outcome this time next year as well, where they're scrambling because when you get relegated, you get nothing but kind of, I guess, debt. But yeah, very sad. With United though, this whole focus on youth has kind of just shown that this fantastic youth system that United fans kind of cling to isn't actually that great.
Their best player this season has been Daniel James.
Yep, Swansea's talent.
Yeah.
Well, I must say I've really enjoyed shitting on United again. It's been a very long time since we could do that, and yeah.
Nice, Dave.
yeah. Hope you enjoyed that segment, Dave.
Dave's just going to never listen to us again.
We just lost like one of our 5 subscribers.
By the way, weren't you in Warsaw to watch a football match recently, Kieran?
Yeah, I was in Warsaw there the other week. I happened to be in the area on a Thursday night, which happened to be the night that Legia Warsaw and Rangers were playing in the Champions League qualifier. So pretty big game on the scale of things, and being the football fan I am, met with my our good buddy Mike, who is tuning in right now. I'd very much hope
you're a good buddy.
And he sorted out tickets for us, and I've seen kind of online before, and I've seen clips of I guess just how fanatical Legia fans are.
Oh, it's mental.
Yeah, it was pretty daunting. So we got the tickets and things like that too, and then we had a short walk to the stadium, and they all kind of wear white. It's Legia kit is white, so as soon as you
clan.
Basically. I mean, it's not too far. If you read up on the fans, it's not too far away from what they actually believe in. But anyway, oh yeah.
They're hardcore
nationalists and things
right.
that. Yeah. So
So is there a team? Is there another team in Warsaw which is the opposite?
There isn't. There used to be.
No, they're just exclusively racist.
There used to be a second team. I think they were called Polonia, and I'm not sure they were as extreme, but it's basically a one-team city now.
Okay.
But yeah, very like most teams in Poland. To be fair, they're very right-leaning. But yeah, fairly kind of lunatics. A lot of them really. Not very welcoming to outsiders. So the kind of walk into the stadium was a bit daunting. The section that we were actually, for our entry was right next to where the hardcore hooligans and ultras would sit.
I'd be spooked.
It was pretty daunting, I must say. I've gone to plenty of football games. I've gone to lots of games in England, lots of games in Ireland where it's been kind of hostile atmospheres. But this put a whole new meaning to hostile.
And they were playing Rangers.
And they were exactly. Now the thing is that because of the threat of these home fans, to watch a game in a European competition against them, you have to be at the stadium 2 hours beforehand, or else they don't let you in for the game. So the Rangers fans needed to be there at 6 p.m. or whatever time it was, and they don't let them out for 2 hours after the game. Right, so the away fan experience must be horrendous.
You're there for 6 hours.
You're pretty much there for 6 hours, and non-stop intimidation. You're kind of in a police bubble to and from the stadium. They'll pick the pub you drink in, and they'll wait outside the pub. The police will. So really, really hostile. Really.
I guess they dislike Rangers. Did they dislike Rangers a lot? Because I guess Rangers are the Protestant team.
Well, exactly, yeah.
They're Catholic.
That was my initial thoughts, and I wasn't too sure because Rangers and Legia also might have the same kind of political leanings.
Right.
But on the away leg, it turned out that the Legia fans unveiled a banner of Pope John Paul, who obviously was a Polish pope, to the Rangers fans in Ibrox. So it's clear that there's probably a bit of resentment between them. But for the game itself, we had really good seats. So thanks to Mike for that. Really close to these fans. They get locked in too. This whole stand of these hooligans and ultras, they get locked in from when the game ends. From the game starts to when the game ends. So they can't go out for. They literally can't leave their seats for the whole game.
Piss or something.
I guess they just.
Piss
I guess
themselves.
they're animals, so they're
Sounds like a fucking zoo.
I'm telling you, it kind of is. But to be fair, when you forget about all that kind of stuff, in terms of creating an environment that is difficult for the opposition players, they absolutely nail it. The place is vibrating. My ears were ringing afterwards. When you come out of a gig or a concert, it was like that, and it was having such an effect on the Rangers players that their whole kind of game plan for that leg was anytime Legia were kind of on top, they'd win the ball back and they would just kill it with possession behind the defenders, and yeah. Anyway, long story short, good enough game. For a 0-0. Got to see Stevie G in a suit on the sidelines as well. It's kind of cool.
Nice.
And most importantly, saw John Flanagan.
Fucking Christ. So
John
would
Flanagan.
would you recommend a game?
Definitely, like
Yeah.
if you're there and you manage to source tickets, you can go to the kind of safer areas of the stand, right? And it's a great spectacle. It's dirt cheap. If you're a football fan, like I'd recommend it 100%. Yeah.
Sweet as.
John Flanagan, could he play for Ireland?
John Flanagan played for Liverpool.
No, but could he play for Ireland though?
Could he
Sounds
play?
like he
Going
could.
by his name, he should, yeah. But then so should have Steven Gerrard. So
Yeah,
But they say that about everyone. Rooney and
Martin Keown and Carragher.
We're a bit short on fullbacks. We're a bit short on anyone really in the
Bit
Irish
short
team.
on players. We don't have many people
Not
play
with
football
today's.
anymore.
Do you remember when C. Finnan killed someone? No?
Please elaborate.
Didn't he kill someone?
No.
He killed someone like vehicular manslaughter.
That was Marcus Alonso.
No, C. Finnan killed someone as well.
Oh jeez.
stop.
So you have to be a left back, basically.
We have to
is
do
what
the
you're saying.
research for this shit because I don't know anything about this.
Google that there. I'm pretty sure C. Finnan ran over
Yeah,
some
we
fella.
can cut this, but let's suss this.
We'll cut it if I'm wrong.
He went into like
Jail.
property or something after, didn't he, Finnan?
Holy shit. Back in 2005 he was.
Yeah, that was... Yeah. Okay, we have our researcher here, Sean Wycherley, at the site, and he's just after looking this up and proving me right, as usual. But that was the year they won the Champions League.
It was,
wasn't it?
yeah.
And like it was after they won the Champions League, he was driving around town and he ran over someone.
Yeah, his Range Rover collided with a man who was 81 years old who
Yeah.
died of serious head injuries.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fuck.
Amazing. You never heard of this?
Amazing.
Never heard of this. He covered
No.
that. He must have some PR team. That's incredible. He's just like holding his Champions League medal like,
Yes.
this is all you need to
Forget
remember
running
me
over
by.
some old fella.
Fucking hell.
Wow. Okay.
You're a Liverpool fan too. You didn't know that?
Well, they cover up all the scum.
Oh Jesus!
So, thank you for listening into the podcast. It's great to be back.
You'll never walk alone.
Oh my God! Wow.
You can find the PUPcast on Facebook under PUPcast, and you can listen to similar podcasts to this on our YouTube channel, the PUPcast Podcast. As always, thank you very much for listening. Thank you for bearing with us in our first return
Oh my God.
podcast. It's been a pleasure, lads.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts before we close it out?
Don't start us off again.
No, we'll see where we are in a few weeks' time.
Yeah. So that's another point too, is that we used to do it weekly, or try and keep to it weekly. In terms of like content and I guess just ourselves from like not burning out as well. We're gonna do it a little bit less frequently, so perhaps monthly.
Yeah, we don't know when we're going to be doing podcasts, to be honest.
And after this, depending on how many solicitors' letters we receive, we may not do another one. So
Yeah, this could be the last
Signing
time.
off for the last time.
signing off.
We're
Yeah.
all going to immigrate to Canada after this. That's what the smart people do.
It's
See you in
true.
a bit, Dave.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Bye.